Yeah, hello. Today's PMdistilled talk, we will discuss about the product backlog. Product backlog is the wish list of features that may or may not get into the product. And the product backlog is maintained by the product owner. An example of product backlog. Now, let us say we are creating a company website for an educational institution. Then we may identify the person as like a new student, existing student, a trainer, an admin. So these could be the personas, and then we say the system should have new student registration, a new instructor must be able to register into the system, and admin should be able to approve the new user registration as well as the new instructor registration. An instructor should be able to design the course, and a student must be able to watch the online lessons. A student must be able to do the self assessments. A student must be able to submit assignments. So the list goes like this. Again, an instructor should be able to provide grades, and students must be able to submit fees through the system. So these are sample listing within a product backlog. The key point to be noted here is product backlog doesn't contain very detailed specifications. It's all one-liners, and the general tool used for this is the spreadsheet, maybe an Excel sheet or a Google sheet or whatever, and the product owner maintains it. For a new product, we may start with the must-have requirements, or in the agile jargon, we call it as the minimum viable product, and then later on add more and more features to it. So that's how product backlog grows. Uh, Contrary to the waterfall model or the traditional project management, agile welcomes changing requirements even very late in the project. So that way, the product backlog is allowed to grow indefinitely. If the product backlog is not growing, then we say, at least I say, the product is reaching end of life, or the product owner is reaching end of his career, or end of his position in the organization, because the product backlog may not be growing because of these two reasons. Either the product has highly matured and it is moving towards the end of life, or the product owner lost his interest in the product. Both are dangerous. If you take the portfolio of Apple, we may see a lot of entries, new features coming in for Apple Watch and other products, whereas iPod, you may not see any new features coming in because it is already scrapped, or it has reached the end of life. Uh, some of the entries in the product on a product backlog could be at a very high level. That means it needs further decomposition to estimate. So very high level requirements which cannot be estimated because it is at a very macro level. We call them as epics, and epics gets broken down further into features, and features gets broken down further into user stories, and user stories are estimated. We call them as story points. So all these things we'll uh, discuss later. Here the key thing is product owner maintains the product backlog, And when the team is really working on a sprint, the product backlog gets enough time to refine and reprioritize the product backlog or the remaining backlog, which is not taken up for the current sprint. We call it as backlog grooming. In practice, the backlog grooming is done as a joint exercise between the product owner and the developers collectively through user story workshops and stuff like that. At the same time, accountability for it lies with the product owner. So this is all about product backlog, high-level entries, one-liners of the probable features that may or may not get into the product, because the product owner decides what all things should get into the sprint. We call it as a release planning. Let us say if the product backlog contains 200 entries, which feature will get into which sprint, that is decided by doing the release planning, which generally happens at the beginning of the development and at the same time or a beginning of a major release. So that is about product backlog. Uh, so thank you very much for watching the PM Distill show. And every day from Monday till Friday, we have this PM Distill talk where we discuss some aspects of project management. Uh, so do if you get some value out of this session, maybe tune in every day from Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. India Standard Time. Thank you very much.